Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the JfG Podcast.
Hello.
It's episode 241, Ash. How are you?
I'm all right. My volumes are wrong, but
oh no.
You know, I don't feel right now. My microphone feels like it's too high and in my face, but hey ho.
High and in your face.
Third world problems, I guess you could call that.
Third world. Yes.
That's the meme,
goes.
Isn't it, or whatever people do?
Yes, definitely that.
Yeah, third world problems.
Yeah.
Microphone in your face all the time.
Absolutely. This is a video game podcast.
Yeah, it is.
We've done.
Do they have video games in the third world?
Ones,
Where
plus
is
some
this
sort of
third
special.
world?
The third world is on the moon of Jupiter.
Oh.
How
do I get that?
You can't. That's the big problem. That's what the problem is.
Third world problem is you can't get there. You can't actually get to the third world.
You're always 7 hours away.
Fuck school. Got you. Yeah. Great start.
Wait, you been up to anything?
Watch Netflix, mate.
No, then.
Gaming has literally taken a backseat this week due to the fact that the new series of Drive to Survive is that what it's called?
That is what it's called.
The F1.
Yeah, I've been tucking in as well, buddy. What do you reckon?
I watched them all in 2 evenings. I didn't find it as entertaining as the first one. I don't know why.
I found it far more contrived than the first one.
Oh.
It felt occasionally, I don't know if you've ever had the misfortune, because you live with a woman,
yes,
of perhaps accidentally catching some sort of portion of like Made in Chelsea, for example.
No, I haven't. No, my wife doesn't watch that, luckily. She just watches Gilmore Girls on repeat, to be honest.
Well, that's fine. My missus started up Gilmore Girls again today. I came in this morning to go to work. She was watching episode 1 of Gilmore Girls.
It's a good place to be. It's a good place to be.
Here we go again.
Let's go around this merry-go-round one more time.
Made in Chelsea is a reality TV show that is sort of semi-scripted but isn't. So there's just a series of awkward conversations between posh people who already have an agenda and a vague idea of what they're going to say, but sort of pretend like they've just bumped into each other, except it's mic'd up and there's a film crew there. And that's very much how Drive to Survive Season 2 has felt to me a lot of the time. It's kind of faux tension between people who know that everyone's listening, whereas the first season it kind of felt a little bit sort of fresh and new.
Raw.
Maybe the people who were being interviewed weren't really used to the idea, and that's probably why it came off a bit more sort of like off the cuff. So,
it was nice.
That's what I think.
I tell you what,
it's still fun though, isn't it? It's quite nice to follow a different team each week.
Yeah, no, it is. It's kind of cool. Like it was well paced. If that's the thing. It was well laid out into, you know, where they were, where they are, where they're going, kind of thing, that kind of history. And then, it was good. You had some of the same characters in there from last time, like Danny Ricciardo. Like, he was just funny in general, but also Izzy just playing up a little bit. Lewis Hamilton was there. He was Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, because the Merc team didn't take part in the first season.
No.
And they realised, this is really popular and successful and good for our images. We should
probably get in on that. And fucking Toto,
the other thing,
was there just macking on 5 chicks. He's like, "Hey, ladies."
He loves it. He was surrounded by his little loft whores, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just he brought them down from the loft. He was showing them around the garage.
Yeah, it was fucking brilliant. And they were lapping it up. They were like, we're out of the loft.
Lots more swearing in this one as well, as if people have realised that people think it's really cool to swear, which of course it is.
It totally is.
So I don't really have an issue with that.
No, I don't give a fuck at all.
It's fine.
I like Nico Hülkenberg. More now. He's quite the character. I like him. He generally doesn't give a fuck. Well, he probably does now because he's not in F1.
He does now. He did an interview last week in Autosport magazine saying he had massive regrets about his Formula 1 career, and he was like,
you would,
too much
you?
of a pussy hole. Like, he never hit anyone or anything, and that's probably because he was playing it too safe, and now he's not in the sport and probably never will be again, unfortunately.
Well, he had a good stint, 10 years or something.
Yeah, he had the chance.
Can't complain. No podiums in 10 years, and he was still driving. It's, more than some other people. It was interesting seeing the whole Gasly and Albon kind of switcheroo and how that kind of turned out and things. I was still pissed off, like watching Brazil when Albon gets hit, I wasn't happy with that.
That's some bullshit from Hamilton.
Yeah, proper fucking schoolyard hissy fit kind of shit.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, it was really good. I enjoyed it, but it seemed to just be over with too fast, mainly because I binged it like 5 hours a day for 2 days.
Yeah, I think there's 10 episodes, isn't there? I've seen 9 of them so far, so I've just got the last one. But quite enjoyable. Decent enough.
Yeah, Gibbons, buddy. Apart from that, I bought a PC case, a new monitor, and a power supply this week because my old PC's been sitting there for quite a while, a good 6-7 months now, and the insides are still good. So I'm going to strip that out and rebuild it, and my son's going to have his first proper PC, buddy, which is going to be taste delicious for him. Yeah, he's been using mine to play games and learn touch typing and stuff like that. So yeah, we thought, why not spunk a little bit of money and might as well use it. It's just been sitting there. It'll still do the job for a lot of the things that we need it to do. So yeah, gotta build another PC, which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully this weekend, which should be a giggle.
Nice, man.
Gibbons, buddy. So yeah, absolutely fuck off from me this week, as always. What about you, buddy? Anything of interest? Anything?
Not really. No. Good display at the pub quiz this week. We got a really high score. We thought we were going to win, but unfortunately there was some like dorks there who I guess they were like privately educated or something because they beat us.
I was privately educated, but I'm not a dork.
No, you managed to escape.
I escaped the dorkness. It was
absolutely. So second in the pub quiz. We're pretty happy with that. Other than that, nothing much, buddy. Weekend, just played games. I'll talk about games shortly. And then Monday night, date night down to old Pizza Express. Nice cheeky pizza. And then Tuesday trip to Aletown. Went down the old Bedford with the funk for the Chelsea-Liverpool game last night. And
sad face.
We tucked into some delightful English ales, which was a very enjoyable time for both of us.
That's always good.
Certainly led to a particularly miserable day for me today, buddy, but I'm happy to pay that price for Tuesday night at Aletown.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You know, you do these things, you can't regret it the next day.
No, I won't remember the hangover, buddy. I'll remember a good night out.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Happy days. Me. Nice.
Gibbons. Let's talk about some games. We've got a few bits and pieces, like story-wise, this week as well, in terms of news, but not very much. But
news? You're crazy.
Yeah, sort of vaguely news.
I won the game of buying games this week, buddy. Again.
Yes. Weird.
I bought Trials Rising.
Yeah, especially weird.
On the PlayStation. It was £8 on the store, and I was like, it's probably about time for me to actually buy this game and see what it's like on an actual controller instead of the piece of shit which is the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And good news, buddy, it's a lot better. Being able to have an analog control on the trigger to throttle the accelerator is a massive difference to a on-off kind of situation where you have no control whatsoever. This game's really good. It flows really... I'm talking about the gameplay itself, not the actual shit that encumbers that, I'd say.
Yes, that is really well put. That is very well put. And let's do a bit of a match of the day here. You talk about... You continue down this road, buddy. You have a chat about how it... Like gameplay-wise, it's still a great game.
It's still an absolutely fantastic game. If you've ever played a Charles game before, it plays like that. But, you know, there's little tweaks here and there, obviously. It's nice. There's a more of an in-depth kind of tutorial this time. It really goes into a lot more detail on how to do some of the more advanced moves. So that's a helping hand to get you through God knows how many stages there are. There seems to be endless at the moment for me. It's nice. Like they've tried to incorporate some kind of career into it instead of it was just like different areas and there would be stages in each area. I was fine with that. You didn't have to put all the cheese and nonsense in it. It reminds me of, I think it was the original Skate when they brought in that guy that I can't remember. He played My Name Is Earl.
Jason something.
Jason Lee?
Yes.
Who was a skater, or he used to be a professional skateboarder, then turned actor. They brought him in, and it was just pretty much ridiculous and over the top, which is where this game has gone now. I mean, I expected it to go there with, the evolution of where it came from to, what was the last one? Fusion, which I think I said the same thing. It was a solid game, like gameplay, but they added all the tricks, and they didn't need to. It went too far with that. It's like, yeah, it's a joke, but then to have that in there as a main part of the game for like progression or whatever, it kind of killed that, because the main thing about Trials was I liked to get from start to finish as quick as possible in the most fluid way, and if I fucked it up in any way means, I would just reset straight away, off I go again, kind of thing. But
that's what purists want from Trials.
Yeah, totally. That's what that game is, and it's a beautiful thing when it works properly. But then if you start adding all the bollocks of like the tricks in it, it's just like it adds even more, randomness to your run where anything could happen, and it's just it ruins that clean cut aspect of what you want out of it. But then this game, obviously, we'll talk about all the bollocks, I guess now. Yeah. Because I feel like that's where it's going. Yeah, fill your boots, buddy. I feel like you're going to nail this.
What a pile of fucking shit this game is.
I know, right?
It is so miserable. Like, I just want to play Trials.
You just want to play Trials.
I actually did this. I actually went into the options menu and looked for a way, and I don't even know what I was looking for.
Yeah.
The best way that I can kind of describe it in my mind is I was looking for some way to just turn the game off so that I could just play the game.
Yeah, you just want to play levels. Like, you don't want to fuck about any other shit.
Overworld map, sponsorship deals. Yep. There's two currencies. There's a paid currency, premium content.
There's like loot boxes dropping left, right, and centre.
Oh god, I've got 50 of them. It just keeps chucking loot crates
out. I've got so many of them, and I'm not going to open any of them because I'm like, fuck you.
You ignore them, and it's got like a mechanic wrench at the top that's constantly bouncing at you like a notification. Open the loot crate. Open the loot crate. Fuck off.
Oh, this is Ubisoft, buddy. This is what Ubisoft have done.
Yeah, well, they're cunts, and this game's fucking shit, and it's their fault.
Yeah,
because this studio is really, really adept at making compelling, wonderful, fluid gameplay.
So good.
And the whole thing, you said encumbered, that's the perfect word for it. This thing is like, there's just shit fucking hanging off this thing. It's just weighed down. The game is just throttled to pieces. It's struggling desperately for air under this shower of fucking just obligatory monetization.
The most upsetting thing is there is a really good game under this.
There is.
The levels that I've played are very creative. They're
really creative.
They're
kind of amazing, some of them. Some of the best ones that I've ever seen. But it's so just painful. Constantly, it fucking bothers you all the time. Oh, this fat cunt's popped up on the screen. He's got something to tell you about the fucking... I don't care about any of that. And no one else does either.
No, they
Unless
don't.
you're fucking 10, you don't give a shit about any of that.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing. We knew it was going to happen. They started getting there, like, as you say, with Fusion.
They had two currencies in Fusion as well. The fucking Acorns, I think it is, the paid currency. That was there.
Yeah. I can't play this. I would love to, but every time I fire it up, it's so miserable. You have to get through so much fucking bullshit.
I'll say we just play some multiplayer, because then I think there'd be no bullshit there. We can just play some of the levels we might want to play.
Yeah, possibly. It's infuriating, and as I said, I just would love to just be able to turn everything off and I even looked to see if there was like a sort of custom mode. Could I just create a playlist of all of the maps and just play through them?
Rinse through it? Yeah,
but it's even grindy. Like they've even made it grindy in terms of like grinding XP for bikes. And within the first 3 stages, it was telling me that a bike that I didn't have yet was the recommended bike for this track.
I know.
And then I had to do like 10, 15 more levels.
Yeah, different other levels that are recommended. And you're like, well, no,
you could buy it. Like, fuck off.
Yeah,
honestly. it looks even worse at this point, where I feel like that like monetization sort of crest of the wave has kind of broken somewhat with the mainstream publishers. They're a little bit more tentative and a little bit more scared to completely take advantage of people.
I think if this game came out like now, obviously it's a year old already. I feel like it would be toned down quite a bit. But that being said, I don't know. You just don't know.
It's a miserable game. I don't know who's ruined it. I don't know. You always assume that the developer's under contract to deliver on the money publishers' insistence. But who can say? I don't care whose fault it is. Really,
it's bad.
It's broken. It's ruined.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can say positive about it is I did play this when it was in like alpha test, and it ran like shit and was buggy as fuck. And I've seen none of that.
Do you remember? I think we were talking at the time that I played it in the alpha, and I just had a black screen, but I could hear my bike, and I managed to get to the end.
You completed the level.
The level without seeing the level. That was funny as fuck.
Yeah, it seems it runs stable.
Better than that.
They've kind of fixed all of that sort of issues.
Yeah,
like it seems to run like a video game should. But I couldn't possibly recommend this to anyone. It's miserable. It's a miserable, awful.
It's experience. Such a shame. It's such a shame because I love Trials. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Trials HD. Even and Evolution. I think those two were the pinnacle of this game. With its simplicity.
Evolution was my favourite.
It was so good.
It was.
But yeah, to where it is now, it's just a shame. But we've seen so many other games that we've loved or enjoyed in the past go down this route of fuckery. Let's call it.
Wrecked.
Yeah, get wrecked. Demons. Fuck you.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the last like good Ubisoft game, and I can't.
I didn't mind the Division 2, but still, that's not great because it was like the Division, but with a number 2 on the end.
They really have just shat out turd after turd for some time now.
I mean, I didn't mind playing Steep. For free on PlayStation Plus, but it was no Shaun White snowboarding, to be honest. That was a good snowboarding game. That was fucking mint.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know, because he like we didn't even get into like Rainbow Six, the new one of them. I don't know.
It's a live service, buddy. It's a live service there.
Yeah, well,
if you want to get involved.
Yeah, I saw Watch Dogs 2 on sale for £9 today. I was like, Oh, yeah, no, that's Watch Dogs 2.
No. No.
No.
Yeah, no, fuck those guys. Real shame, but what can you do? There we are.
They make Assassin's Creed, don't they? Black Flag. There you go. That was a long time ago. That was 7 years ago.
That was Rayman Legends as well. That was good.
Yeah, there you go.
And I suppose... I can't say that Wild Pants is a good game because I feel like it was a broken pile of shit.
It was awful.
And they Hail Married a multiplayer mode.
Yeah, they attached a fantastic multiplayer game to it. But like still, even when they did that,
by mistake,
the single/co-op aspect of that game was terrible.
Yeah, and
do you remember we did a video of it on one of our YouTube channels, and it was the what was it? All the textures and stuff. It was fucking just awful.
Yeah, they might load, they might not, but
who cares?
There's a wonderful moment where we're up in the sky in some helicopter, and you just see off the edge of the map like these like 8-bit. Like sky textures, it's just god. But more than that, it's just boring. Like the whole game's boring, and it's the same as all Ubisoft games now. It didn't work
as well as previous Ghost Recons, like because we used to love a good Ghost Recon game back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, playing like Splinter Cell Conviction, like I have been recently, playing some older games, it just further highlights like what a fall from grace. They just completely lost track of like what they were for. Like they used to be a really creative publisher. And
just
I just feel like,
you know?
all of their development teams now are faded into one, and you feel like all of them are completely throttled in terms of creativity because all the games are so consistently like similar to each other that you can only blame the publisher for that.
You know, I did always love the point of Ubisoft games having towers in them. That was a great era for Ubisoft.
Gibbons.
The crew. What a game.
Yeah. I don't know when the fall from grace began. I'd imagine it was with like the 5th or 6th or 7th Assassin's Creed, but since then it's just been wall to wall shite. And
it really has.
What a shame. But hey, there we are.
It is a shame.
Have you played anything else this week, buddy?
Well, I just need to quickly mention I've been playing a bit of Fortnite because my son's, for some reason, he's got back into it this past couple of weeks. He got the battle pass and all that jazz. So I was like, all right, mate, yeah, I'll play. I was just helping him out, doing a bit of grinding, doing some of his challenges so he can get his XP up, so he gets his free bits and bobs from the battle pass. And we won. We got a victory royale on duos, me and him.
Oh wow!
It was amazing.
Is that the first time that's happened?
Yeah, like I think he's had it with like his mates before, like a couple of times. But as a father-son combo, we fucking smashed it. I think we got like 18 kills between us. It was incredible. Nice. And like all the way through it, I was just like, oh yeah, we just need to go and do this challenge. You know, let's just go and get that done. And like we just kept going. We kept killing people. And then it was like, he's like, oh Dad, there's only like 3 people left and we're 2 of them. I'm like, what? So there's only 1 dude. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, then I'll probably start playing properly now. And then at that immediate moment, I fucking spaz out and start pressing all the wrong buttons and building shit around me. And he's like, why are you shooting him? And it's just, the pressure got to me, buddy. And he was just cool as a cucumber, just fucking gunned this kid down. I'm like, yeah, buddy.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. So that was
Make your daddy proud.
Yeah, that was really good fun on the weekend for doing that. And then for some reason, while I was waiting for the kids to go to bed and then AKA watching F1 on Netflix, I loaded it up on my PC because I was like, oh, he's got a couple of challenges. I'll just knock them off for him, get him some more XP or whatever. I loaded into squads, which is like the 4-player thing. Came second, and then I was like, oh, I was all right. So I was like, well, I've still got to do this challenge, go back in again. Got a victory royale that time. I was like, oh, that was good. That went well. And in that game, I rezzed my entire team as well, which was pretty crazy. Then in the next game, got another win. It was crazy. Weird. And I was like, wow, this is how season. It feels like to win.
This is what it feels like to be ninja.
Yeah, maybe. That game's bad. That game's bad. The shooting on it is pants. Like, my favourite weapon now is a pistol, even at long range. It just absolutely murders people. And I don't know why. Like, they're little tiny dots miles away on the other side of the thing. I just line up my crosshair because I'm playing on PC, so I'm using mouse and keyboard. And I just go like pap, 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 pap. And like 6 shots, they're dead. I'm like, oh, that was easy.
Nice.
I don't know if like other people know about this. Maybe it's like some new meta that I've discovered. I feel like it is. It's just the pistol. It like just kicks ass. Anyway, who cares about that? Fortnite, yeah, that's a game that's been out for a while, but is still in early access and making shitloads of money, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, that's about it. Apart from that, I haven't really played anything. Played a little bit of Jedi Fallen Order a bit, and I'm looking at your list, buddy, and it seems like you've also been playing the Star Wars Jedi : Fallen Order, whatever it is.
I have.
And how did that go?
Well,
riddle me.
This is a strange experience playing this game because, for the most part, I really quite like it. But I do wonder how much Star Wars has to do with that. I know that sounds silly, but if it wasn't a Star Wars game, I think it might be a shit game. But I don't know. It's the thing that I have to mention. Obviously, you spoke in length about this game last week. I'm not going to go over like lots of like previously trodden ground. But
if you want to disagree with anything I said, obviously go nuts.
No, well,
because I can't remember what I said.
The first thing that I have to say is how thoroughly buggy this game is. This is comfortably the buggiest game I have played on PS4 ever. Since the console launched, I've never played a final release that is so riddled with bugs and problems as Jedi Fallen Order. Maybe I've been unlucky. I doubt it, to be honest.
I haven't really found anything of a major issue in, or even a small issue on the PC. But maybe I've just been lucky, like you say.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they've just polished that properly and didn't on the consoles. But just never-ending issues, falling through the world. I attacked an enemy the other night and it rubber banded me 300 meters into the air. I could see like the whole map below me, and then it deposited me because there's no fall damage. I landed
it's just fine.
somewhere.
It's all right with
somewhere
it. You're a
out
Jedi,
of bounds,
buddy. You can
outside
do that.
the
It's
level.
all right. Yeah,
and the
Space magic.
the system whereby if you have a cheap death, like falling off a ledge or something, it respawns
it just
you
pops
nearby.
you back on. Yeah,
it just kept respawning me, standing half in a surface behind a wall I couldn't get back into the level from. Like proper old PC beta shit, you know?
Really bad.
It's incredibly poor. This isn't a open world game. It's a God of War-esque in its linearity. And
that's a good way of saying it.
To find the various bugs,
the actual area where you can stand.
Yeah, constantly jumping, wall jumping, missing stuff. Him not connecting with surfaces. I sent you a video of me hanging 10 feet below a vine in the middle of nothingness.
There, buddy. That was nice. I enjoyed that.
There's no way back up because once I got down there, the game decided that I wasn't actually clinging onto anything anymore. So I just had to drop to my death, and then it respawned me above it and dropped me to my death 3 times. It's
wow,
it's really poor.
This is I literally haven't had any of these issues whatsoever. But
I mean, even when I think it's probably not a bug, it can be frustrating. A lot of the mudslides and ice slides,
they're terrible.
I'm constantly falling off of them. It's horrible to control. And the biggest issue I have with this game, I've had it since the very first time I saw a screenshot of it. I have scoured a horde of reviews of this game, and no one has said this about this game in any of these reviews, which is unbelievable to me. This fucking character does not look like he's attached to the ground at any point. At no point does it look like he's on the ground. He's floating above it all the time. Yeah. Like it's like a racing game with terrible shadow effects where you just don't feel like you're even on the road at all. And I think that the biggest reason for this is the freedom of movement of the character. Like he can move so much that he just doesn't. It seems like he's on ice. Like it just doesn't feel like he's on the ground because you can kind of turn like on the spot without lifting your legs. It's really weird.
I really wish that the listeners could see you doing those moves right now.
Well, I can't help it, really. I'm getting into
great.
it. I wanted to get the negative shit out of the way. The bugs have not really. Maybe there's probably 2 times in like 30 hours where I've had to reload because of a bug. There's been a lot of stupid bugs and cheap deaths, a lot of them unwarranted. I just think that the game is a little bit poorly made. And I don't understand that because this is Respawn. Titanfall was solid as fuck. Like it felt robust.
Great
and
game.
The controls, the way that the character moved and the controls were one of the biggest boons.
Some of the best fluidity in a game of movement. Yeah. Ooh, sexual with those wall runs. Very good.
But that's just not there with this, and it kind of feels almost like a first-person... a business used to making first-person shooters has struggled to make a third-person. It almost feels like Skyrim when you go into third-person, and it's just not very good. Like,
no, I know what you're saying.
It's kind of got a bit of that about it. I don't know, but then, either way...
Surely it's hats off to Guerrilla Games for making... Horizon so well then, because obviously they did the same thing from a first person to a third person.
The absolute antithesis of this. Yeah, absolutely. Like a triumph of technology, and Aloy controls beautifully. Like streets ahead of this in terms of control. Having said all of that, I have really enjoyed it. I've been really impressed by the level design. At first, I was quite angry about the style of game. Obviously, it's a Souls-esque sort of escapade. Yes. And it's got the whole like Metroidvania thing.
Can't go here until you get that power.
Yeah. And then you got to go back there again, and it's got a useless 3D map that's like fucking deciphering some hieroglyphics every time you fire it up. And it also doesn't pause the game when you look at the map. I don't know why, because it's hard to like if you wanted to keep the thing running real time when I'm looking at the map, make a better map. Just make the map, because it's too much of an annoying challenge. But anyway. It's a fun game. It's got massive problems.
How did you find the combat?
The combat is... I like the combat until you get 3 enemies who just charge you down and pin you against a wall. And then it's just you and 3 enemies glitching around against a wall until you inevitably die, which is shit. And it's just rubbish. The actual idea of the combat, the blocking and the striking and everything, I like that, but I do find the parry really difficult. And a lot of the time I found that getting the right timing on that parry, the risk reward, it just wasn't there for me, in that I knew I could just absorb a load of like hits, of blocks, and then just like whip out a cheeky superpower or something or other to stagger them.
I'm going to put you in an instant, which I found really enjoyable. Big taser guys, with the big taser sticks, a couple of them on you, and someone shooting you with a pew-pew, and then a couple of guys with a rocket launcher. Yeah, it's a fun place to be right now.
It's hard work, and you have to be really tactical in those situations. But I do enjoy that challenge.
He likes the challenge.
I've been playing through it on the second of the 4 difficulties.
Yeah, and, middle. I'd say that's probably the best place to go. I got so annoyed with the third. It was just too much for me. Like I said, I came into this expecting funsy Star Wars space magic Jedi powers that will just murder people, really. And going on that difficulty wasn't that. Going down to number 1 was that, but I feel like it's just too easy now. You're just running through everyone. Even when you get to like the slightly harder, darky ones, you can just absolutely rinse them in a couple of shots, and it's like that's not even a challenge. At least those guys should be part of a challenge, I think, or you should have to do the dance with them. But when you come up against like a couple of like little bugs, you shouldn't have to dance around them too much. You just go fuck off, kind of thing. That's how I see it anyway.
I think I'm kind of I feel quite mixed about it. I like the fact that there's the 4 difficulties. I think it's a really good thing.
Oh no, I think it is a good thing. And like you said last week, it's quite impressive that they've managed to get like 2 different types of game in one thing. Like I think that is fair due to them. I think they've done really well.
But what I would agree with you on is the stupid fucking creatures like rats and stuff shouldn't be more difficult to kill than a stormtrooper.
Exactly. The stormtroopers are a piece of piss.
They're not fun to fight.
No,
this game is constantly chucking enemies at you that you can't see. Totally, like just cheap shots all the time.
Jumping out of the ground, and you're like, fuck you.
Round a corner.
Yeah, totally.
And I mean, I don't want to sort of spoil anything, but as you progress through the game, some of the hand-to-hand combat enemies that you fight are utterly infuriating and a real struggle. I don't like the save system. I really don't like that save system like that. Yeah. I don't like the fact that they don't always put a save point just before a boss fight, so that I'm regularly having to run through maybe 10 enemies to get back to the boss fight.
Yeah.
Like it's frustrating. So there's that.
But sometimes they hide the save point as well, like down a secret alley. It's like, why put it here in the main alley instead of
it's really odd.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of great stuff. Like
there is
loads of
fucking
great
Star
stuff.
Wars, buddy.
Brilliant surprises here and there. Some of the landscapes, I'm blown away by it, to be honest. It's a gorgeous looking game.
Absolutely stunning, isn't it? It's lovely. But I find that with Star Wars games, like even with was it Battlefront? Like I remember the first time playing that, and was it Battlefront, the shooting one, the first person?
The first one, yeah.
And I was just like, it's just beautiful, and it obviously all the sounds of Star Wars, and it gave it that sheen and gloriousness of Star Wars, and
there's loads to love here. Yeah. It's got so much like variety in terms of its level design. I like the sort of overworld. I like the fact you pick the planet you want to go to.
Yeah.
I don't care that there aren't side quests. There's just collectibles. I've no beef with that whatsoever. I quite enjoy exploring the various sort of environments. And it can be really fun. We've barreled through it because we basically had a weekend off. We decided we were just going to sit and
it's just going to be Star Wars weekend.
Duvet it up, watch we'll watch Drive to Survive, we'll watch Star Wars films, and we'll play the Star Wars game. So I am on, I think, the final boss battle.
Oh, nice. Fuck me.
And I am struggling massively against this boss. There's a bit of God of War about it, except God of War's a much better game than this. But the style of it, and I'm struggling. And the reason that I'm struggling is because I've never mastered the parry. And I almost need a training arena. My intention is to go back to one of the earlier planets and just practice parrying on some stormtroopers. But also, there's a host of collectibles where if you get 3 of them, it ups your health like permanently. And there's also canisters to find where you can up the number of stim packs that you can carry. So I've got my health now up to literally more than half the screen at the bottom there. And then I've got, I think I've got 5 stim packs now as well. And I was failing at this final boss. I was getting him down just below half health before I died. I've now added, I think, with the stim packs and the health upgrade, I've probably got like maybe 30% more health than the last time I tried it. So it's going to be touch and go, but I think I can get there. And it's satisfying. I still think that the lightsaber combat in Jedi Academy is better.
Oh, I love it. That's what I was expecting from this. Like, fast paced, slashy, funsy stuff.
Yeah, well, it is that if you put it on the store on the lowest difficulty.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, that's you're absolutely right.
But yeah, it's this is a game that I would recommend. I do like it, but it's not perfect. It's not brilliant.
No.
There's loads wrong with it, and I can't really fathom how. I just can't. I don't know what have they been. Did they just not bother? Like. It feels like it needs a day one patch. It's been out for 6 months. Like I don't understand.
It's had a few patches already, isn't it?
I guess it has.
Like 1.02. I can't remember what patch I'm on. I don't know.
I don't think I mentioned before the performance problems with it as well. By the way, this thing fucking chugs on that base PS4. Like really chugs. Like nothing you've played on the PS4. I am regularly getting frame drops down to maybe 20 frames, and I have occasionally had it dropping down to what looks like 8 or 10 frames where the whole thing falls apart. Various like sections where the game's loading when you're going through the crevices or in a lift, sometimes the game will stop as though it's crashed, except he's still kind of moving, and then the lighting engine will switch off. And then the textures will go like blank, and then the textures will reappear, and the lighting engine will kick back in as it's loading in the new portion of the level it's about to show you. It's really, really poor. Certainly feels like we're at the end of this console cycle. That's all I'll say.
It's not a pretty thing, is it? Like I said, like when I first saw it on the Xbox One S, I was just like, Yummy.
Yeah, it's not good. So yeah, a mixed bag. It's a 7 out of 10 game.
On PC. Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I got it, but yeah, it's got a lot of issues. If you know that there's issues when you go into it, you can have a really good fun time. And I think you got real license, in my opinion. If you get to a stage where it's fucking you because the game's broken, you can drop the difficulty down in real time. You can hit pause, drop it,
which
instantly.
is nice.
It'll scale to you and then pop it back up when you've got past the glitchy bit. Or
it
whatever.
Does feel a bit dirty, but we've all got to get a bit dirty sometimes.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that sort of stuff anymore. But
me neither, buddy.
It's fun. I like it.
I want to have fun.
Gibbons. It has been.
Nice.
So, that's what I think of that, buddy. The only other thing that I've played this week is a demo, because it was added to the store. This is Cody's Grid, which I played Grid 2, the 360 game, on Game Pass for quite some time. Really enjoyed it. So I was kind of looking forward to this, and it's just dropped down to £20 on the UK PlayStation Store. And there's a demo as well. So I thought I'd give it a burn. I got the wheel out and had a little go. It's quite a nice demo. It's got... it kind of eases you in. It's quite cheesy, the campaign in it, but I don't really mind that, to be honest.
Is it like FMV sequences? Because huge fan of that.
Kind of like 90s in that there's lots of big televisions and then it zooms you in. There's like a voiceover between two shit commentators and they're like, now's his chance. Will he make it through? And then it takes you through. So there's 3 races in the demo.
Spoilers.
And it takes you through them one after the other. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Will he get through? He takes you through. Yeah, got you.
Yeah. So you got 3 different races. They're like scenarios, so you're pushed into position or you've just had a crash and then it gives you control, and then once you've raced that initial sort of introduction, then it spits you out to a demo menu and you can race any of those 3 races, 2 laps or 3 lap races. So there's 3 different tracks on there. There's a Asian street circuit, like a South Korean street circuit, kind of reminiscent of Gotham, something like that. Then you've got a stock car in a sort of NASCAR-esque environment where you've got an oval. And then finally you are racing a sort of turbocharged super duper VW like Golf GTI around Brands Hatch in the rain.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So those are the 3 demo tracks and cars. And it's nice. I like it. I do worry in terms of where it sits. Obviously, a lot of people who like racing games, they're going to say, is it a simmy or an arcadey game?
Obviously, that's the only 2 types.
That's the big question. So at one end of the spectrum, you've got like assistless Dirt Rally or assistless F1, assistless Project Cars. These are sim games, at least from a console perspective. And then at the other end, you've got stuff like Wreckfest, Drive Club. I suppose like
Project
Need for Speed, that sort of thing. Where this sits is in the middle, but possibly slightly further closer to arcade than it is to sim.
Okay.
So it's quite slidey, but also you can barrel round corners like 30, 40 miles an hour quicker than you probably should be able to in real life.
Is it the Project Gotham of this generation then? Is that what we're saying? Because with Project Gotham, that was a, you could take it super serious or go for the kudos, buddy.
You could. I think that this is more forgiving than Gotham ever was, in that I turned all of the assists off. So I did the initial intro with with it on like default, and it had everything turned on, like traction control was on ABS, auto gears, and racing line. It was all switched on as standard, and that felt really fucking dead to me. Like it just nothing.
Follow the line, don't do anything.
So easy.
It's like Scalextrics, isn't it?
Yeah, so then it spits me out to the main menu. I fire up those races again, and I turn off all assists and put it into manual gears. And
yes, that's where the fun is.
To me, it still felt really easy, like an arcadey. I didn't feel like I was ever going to lose the back. I felt like I could chuck the throttle all the way down.
Just hammer it down.
Yeah, and
no fish
kind of disappointed about that. Like, it's
you wanted it to just absolutely go mental and all over the place, didn't you?
I think I was kind of anticipating that Codemasters, they're kind of known for these sort of sim arcadey hybrids, and I was expecting a real challenge. Like, I was expecting a lot of feel, a lot of grunt, and easy to spin the thing, and that's not what I got at all. It still felt easy and arcadey with all of the assists switched off. So for me, I'm not sure. I don't know how much I would play it, because I suppose the thing that it's probably closest to that I already own, that's already out on the PlayStation, is a Gran Turismo, like GT Sport. I would probably say out of everything that's out on the console, that's what Grid is closest to. And I think it's GT Sport's probably better. And I'm not playing that. So
why would you play this kind of thing? Yeah, especially when you've got the such of like F1 for your
and
sim,
Project Cars and
Project
Wreckfest.
Cars. Yeah, and then we've got Wreckfest for the ultimate arcade racer experience for stupidity, and so it is awesome.
Yeah, it's tricky.
That's
doubt.
it. Do you need this? Will you play it? Compared to the other racing games that we already have.
Yeah, and no doubt I would play it for a little while, but I don't think it would be a long term.
It wouldn't be a long term thing. Yeah.
So it comes down to whether it's worth like $19.99 for 2 or 3 weeks of enjoyment. The answer's probably yes. But I'd like to know what everyone else thinks. I know Funk's planning on giving it a burn tonight, actually, on his wheel.
Nice.
So I think Paul Tom's going to give it a try as well, and I guess that's what it will maybe come down to.
Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Yeah.
If everyone wants to pick it up, then I'm probably game. But I don't know how much of it is me and how much of it is the game in terms of my enjoyment. I think I might just be leaning down that sort of geeky sim road to the point where I'm struggling with stuff that is more arcadey.
Yeah, it can happen. If it's not all out arcadey, then it's not for you, kind of thing.
An all-out arcade is Wreckfest. I don't really need anything else that does that.
You don't want an in-between. You either want something where you're going to be super serious or something you're going to be an absolute twat in.
Yeah, because I think Project Cars 2, if you chucked all the assists on, then it'd be a pretty fun arcadey experience for us
more than
at this
likely.
point. So, but I don't know. It might be a good game night game just because you don't have to think so hard. It's focusing really hard.
But that's a lot of the fun. The focus is more intense.
Yeah,
especially when you're pissed and
I'm slightly clouded this week because we had one of our best F1 sessions of.
It's fucking brilliant. I can't remember any of it, but I'm sure it was great. I thought I did quite well from what I remember.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot.
That's Grid. I need to play some more of it. I'll probably talk about it again. I'll probably have inevitably bought it by this time next week, and then I'll be talking about it more, and that'll probably annoy everyone. But fuck you.
That's fine.
So those are the games I've been playing, buddy. Anything more from you, or is that sort of about that?
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever been playing anything else. I'm trying to think, but. No, I installed Wolfenstein. What's the new one? I don't know.
Oh, the one with the girls. Yeah,
I've got that installed. I'm hopefully playing / streaming that tomorrow. We'll see how that goes, though.
I've got that installed as well on the Xbox.
I don't think if it was cross-play, that'd be fantastic. But unfortunately, it's not.
No, and not a lot is.
No, it's only Xbox exclusives that mainly are. Cross-platform and Fortnite, obviously, because that's the best, obviously. So no, nothing from me, buddy. Hopefully I'll talk about that next week, though. I'll let you know.
Fair play.
How I get on.
Nice, B. I forgot to ask earlier in the podcast, buddy, as is often tradition, exactly what you're drinking this evening.
I'm on the Hobgoblin Gold this evening, buddy.
Picked up nice beer.
I think I mentioned it the other week about the... was it 8 cans for £9? I went to the big Tesco this time, so I got I got the Knob Gobbler Gold. It's a tasty beer. It's lovely. And what about you? I keep hearing this pouring malarkey out of some sort of bottle.
Well, I felt like I needed a bit of a palate cleanser this evening. I've had rather a lot of beer recently, especially last night.
Not a bad thing.
So I thought I'd switch to some sort of little G&T combo this evening. I'm on G&Ts. It's not really the season for it, but I got this for Christmas. It's a Christmas gin, Christmas dry gin. It's
there you go.
Handcrafted in Edinburgh. I believe that's how you pronounce it, buddy.
Edinburgh.
Yeah. Small batch, blended with spicy ginger, cardamom, and cinnamon. Produced in the Secret Herb Garden by the
secret
by the head gardener. So that's nice.
Head gardener. Hey.
Number 5 festive. It's very nice. I'm really enjoying it. I'm also seem to have got through half of it already, but it's only a little bottle, so it's fair enough. I'm partnering it up with only the best for me, buddy. Tesco's own low-calorie Indian tonic water.
Mate, I've been there. I get that all the time.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
I
also go for the Aldi low-calorie tonic water as well.
Oh, that is bold.
It's nice. Have you had the one with the, is it lemon? No, lime. From Tesco.
Wow. Yeah. That sounds like something I'd actually quite enjoy.
It's the tonic water with a lime tinge, zest, whatever. Yeah. Twist. That's the word, isn't it? Twist.
I very much like drinks that are a bit tart. I like drinks that make me sort of go, ugh, like that. That's kind of what I like. So the sharper the better, really. Yeah. Super dry. So the G&T is going very smooth this evening, buddy.
Yeah, I bought a bottle of Bombay Sapphire today.
Oh, I like that.
It was a litre for £17. I was like, fucking bargain. I like that.
That is good. Yeah.
It was good.
I really want to go to their distillery. It looks amazing. It's like blue pyramids and shit in I think it's in Hampshire somewhere. It looks pretty cool. Be very nice. Yeah.
It'd be a lovely trip. Get wankered.
Gin, everyone.
Yeah, gin it's there. It's about.
It's about. I don't have much more to say, but I did a couple of things probably worth mentioning. The first one, this one, I thought was very funny, and it's about FIFA.
Nice.
FIFA 20. This is the headline on Eurogamer. FIFA 20 Pro distraught after bizarre penalty shootout bug knocks him out of official EA tournament. So,
Classic.
This is someone who was taking part in the EA Sports FIFA 2020 North American qualifiers. One of the, he's one of the best FIFA
big
players on Earth. He scores a penalty, and the ball goes into the net, and the player turns around to celebrate, and then the game just ignores that has happened. It's like, oh, he's missed. And then it goes to a goal kick. And he was knocked
ridiculous.
Out. It was a shootout as well, so that was curtains. It was like something dead.
No, mate, no chance.
Yeah,
that's fucking brilliant. To be in a tournament as well for that to happen, surely they would be like, okay, yeah, no, let's bring out VAR for that. Okay, yeah, that was a goal.
He complained to FIFA specifically to EA, and
they didn't give a fuck.
The admins told him that if the game confirms it was not a goal, we have to obey the game's decision.
Oh God, really?
I love it. I obviously that's unfortunate and very embarrassing for EA, but also give a fuck. You're like a FIFA player. I just don't care. Not bothered. I don't know.
It's just funny.
I'm not of the generation that takes esports seriously, and I just think it's funny that people keep buying this fucking toxic, poisonous game, and it's funny. It's just really funny. People keep buying it.
Silly billies.
Gibbon.
Because people love football.
Gibbon. What else? The only other things that I've got. Funk was asking this week about where to get some cheap Xbox Ultimate. His sort of 3-month one that he got with the console who's kind of just expiring, and he was kind of asking for tips. And you had a pretty good one, actually, didn't you, that you found a good deal?
How much is it a month?
It does it 3 monthly, I think, Ultimate. I'm pretty sure it's like £11 a month. And that's that's the Game Pass and Gold.
Yeah, the Ultimate package.
Yeah,
you get it all. Well, on CD Keys, at the website that we've used countless times, they had it on for £20 for 3 months, saving you like what, £10, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty decent deal.
That's how I've always done mine. I think I got my last one for like £15, like when it was on offer. So I said to him, I'll keep an eye out, see if it drops, and if it does, might as well stack them up when you can.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, obviously, it should work like this anyway, but it's worth noting that if you're, if you're a month out from needing to renew, but an offer becomes available, then if you do enter that code, then it will just tack it onto the end of your existing subscription. So. There's not really any reason not to pick these things up when they're super cheap, even if you don't need them yet. You're doing yourself a favour in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. In the long run, isn't it? If you're going to continue to use that service, then get it when it's cheap, innit?
Gibbon, absolutely.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a good one. Only other thing to mention this week, probably the cool headline of the week, buddy. In fact, specifically today, isn't it? It's it
is today,
20th birthday of the PS2.
Yeah, it makes me feel old.
It makes me feel quite old as well. I never owned a PS2. But I did play a lot on them because every other fucker had one. So
I think my brother bought ours. And we had Gran Turismo 3, I think it was, as one of the games that we got like in the bundle. I played that game so much. It was fucking awesome. Great game, Gran Turismo 3. So much to the point, obviously, GTA 3 came out on it as well. When some of my mates were like, we've got GT3. I was like, what, you got Gran Turismo? Being like really excited about them having it. But they were like, oh, no, GTA 3. I was like, oh, okay. Great game. Yeah. It was a great console, mainly because, you could stack it upright and twizzle the PlayStation logo around. That did it for me.
It looked the part.
And it was a DVD player, which was fucking awesome.
It was the first console that was a proper media player. And, I mean, some of the games that came out on that system, I mean, Need for Speed Underground springs to mind as one of my favourites, but also it was a
fucking awesome game.
Really took off like Pro Evo. I mean, I played ISS Pro on the original PlayStation, but when it went into sort of proper PES, like PES 3 and PES 4, I remember playing PES 2 around from the podcast pools, like when we were still at school. But PES 3 and 4, like they were like a different class. Like they were just some of the greatest football games ever.
But this console really kind of started to define the use of 3D graphics. I mean, we had the original PlayStation and like the N64 before this. But, that's like the first step into these 3D worlds. This is where they started to kind of fine-tune them into, more immersive and grander scales and things like that. But I don't know what the but is, but yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little look around just to sort of see the sort of Metacritic ratings and stuff, but also like some of these lists of like the best ever PS2 games. And
I haven't done that.
Didn't agree with all of them, but
Time Crisis.
Tony Hawk's 4 was really, really good. That was a great game. Burnout 3, well, Burnout 2 as well, but Burnout 3, that was a cracker. Yeah, and obviously San Andreas launched on that console as well, didn't it? So,
God, yeah, San Andreas, the one GTA that I barely played. Yeah, but obviously, it was the birth of Grand Theft Auto 3D world with Grand Theft Auto 3, really, wasn't it? It was fucking awesome. Def Jam, Fight for NY. That was a great game. Like you said already, Need for Speed Underground 2. That was great. No, they're not. Oh, Guitar Hero 3 or Guitar Hero, whatever it was, came out on it. I remember
Silent
playing
Hill was
one of them
cool.
ones.
Like Silent Hill 2. And yeah, it was a pretty cool console. It was pretty cool.
It was a good time for wrestling games
sellers
as well. Probably the only good time for wrestling games. There's loads of them. It was a good time.
Salad days, yeah. Cool console. Kind of started, as you say, the 3D times properly. PS1 had a crack at that, but PS2 really mastered it. And yeah, happy birthday PS2, 20 years today.
Gibbons, buddy. Congratulations.
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 Fucking sweet.
Gibbons.
Well, there you go, buddy. I think that's our podcast. I think we're all done.
Yeah.
We could have just left it there. That's the end of the fucking MP3.
I like
See
it.
you next time. Yeah.
There you go. Done. Right.
Hey, Gibbons. No, well, thanks very much for listening. I'll inevitably be back next week to moan on about fucking Grid having bought it.
Yeah, I mean, tonight. One day we'll find a game that we'll be able to talk good things about. I mean, well, I feel like we're quite subjective, apart from if a game's really bad.
Well, I just don't think that most games are very good, and you have to. Funk said it quite well the other day, buddy. He said we're past the point now where there's a reason to get super hyped and excited about a video game. Basically, at this point, you buy it when it's discounted and you find the fun. Like you just find the fun.
It's a bad place to be.
Well, it's a mixture of the way the industry's gone with its bullshit and the fact that we've got older and are no longer the target audience. And the combination of those two things, that's why we find ourselves where we are now. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about things.
Isn't it? Yeah. All right.
I'm
all right with that.
Yeah, well, we'll be back next time to do some more of that. But thanks so much for listening, buddies. And yeah, have a good week. Take care. We'll catch you next time. I've been Alex. He's been Ash.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. You've been listening to the JfG Podcast with Ash and me, Alex. You can find us at www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, where you'll also find our Discord and Street Beat if you want to get involved with the show. Our Facebook is /the JfG Podcast, and our Twitter handle is @the JfG Podcast. We're on all those video streaming sites too, buddies, from TubeTube to twitch.tv /the JfG Podcast to mixer.com, aka beam.fucking-pro. We've got a PS4 community you can join. Just search the JfG Podcast on there. And we're also on Google Plus if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We'll catch you next time.
Spricht der